What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a blessed day today. We're going to talk about something that's very important and something that's going to affect the lives of many Americans. And if you're a young man that watches this channel and you live in the United States, this is something that's been on my mind over the past couple days, especially after we saw the Silicon Valley Bank fail. I just want to inform you guys that this is just the beginning of what's to come, especially financially in this country and in the West, as we have a transition in power. This is, once again, I'm making this video not to scare you guys, but to inform you and try to help you guys understand what's going on, number one, and number two, how to, limit the impact it has on your life and what you can do to best prepare for what's to come. Of course, you can't do everything to avoid this because what's set to happen is going to happen. The waves of the world, how the power shifts, the dynamics of, just the powers that be, how they pull the strings. I'm really have to watch my language making this video. You know what I'm talking about if you watch this channel. Certain things have to happen. So I'm only here to give you what I'm doing, the advice that I'm giving myself and I'm telling people close to me to do, and the research I've done. So if you want to follow along, great. If you don't, good luck to you on your journey, but this is what I'm recommending all the guys on this channel that watch this type of content, what they should do moving forward. So we have to understand first and foremost that small banks are collapsing and eventually will consolidate into 6 big banks. Think of the Bank of China, think of your JP Morgans, your Citigroups, Bank of America, the largest banks, okay? So all these small banks, these small credit unions where people are saving their money, earning a little bit of interest year over year, or they have these savings accounts that are not insured. Eventually, and I don't think it's going to be like an instant, like the government cuts off all these banks and all these banks fail, but I think over time we're going to start seeing more and more of these smaller banks fail. And it's just gonna be like a ripple effect, just one after another, after another, after another. The next thing you guys need to understand is the government's going to use these small collapses as a way to usher in CBDC, okay? If you don't know what CBDC is, central bank digital currency. This is the wave of the future. This is why there was a crypto bull run about a year ago. During the bull run, a ton of people got comfortable, especially young people, got comfortable with seeing their money on a blockchain through cryptocurrency. And obviously, the powers that be, the central banks of the world, they're not going to allow this to happen, all right? They want full, total control. And in order to get this total control, they're going to have to appear as the good guy, the Superman that saves the day. So what they're gonna do is a coordinated collapse of all the small banks first and foremost. And then they're going to come in like what they did with the Silicon Valley Bank and save the day, okay? They're gonna bail out these banks. But all these banks eventually over time are going to consolidate into the 6 big banks. Third point that I need you guys to understand is this will remove the middle class. There's only going to be an upper class and a lower class. The middle class is going to either float to the top or to the bottom, depending on how they prepare for what's to come. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the middle class are going to be stuck at the bottom, the lower class, because they're not prepared for this. They're still watching TikTok, Instagram Reels, entertainment content, modern women getting roasted content. And instead of learning about the financial sides of what's going on behind the scenes, red pilling yourself financially, they're still caught up on the women's side of this space and just pure entertainment content instead of preparing themselves for what's to come. But I want to give you guys the tools to prepare for what's to come. So with my next point, we're going to talk about what we can do to prepare for what's to come and what I'm doing personally, and hopefully it helps you understand and have some sort of guide on what you should do if you have no idea what's going on. So what we're seeing recently is Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia meeting with each other. And this meeting is to delink themselves from the declining world reserve currency, the US dollar. And I hate to tell you guys, but this is the end game for the US dollar. We've let our guard down. We've gotten distracted. We've been socially and politically influenced by other nations that have been trying to take us down for years. And it's going to happen. It already has. We've seen the decline in the West. But this is the end game for the US dollar, as well as the US Federal Reserve currency as the world reserve currency. So you're probably asking yourself, unless you know history, what's to come now that the US is no longer going to be the world's reserve currency? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen is there's going to be a fight, a power struggle between these countries right here, okay? Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia are all going to be front runners for the world reserve currency. But the US is going to fight back and push to obviously remain the world reserve currency. Will they be successful? That's up in the air. Do I think they will personally? No, I do not. It's imperative that you guys understand all wars are banker wars. They're a fight for control. Whoever controls the money controls what the people do and how they behave. Hence why they're pushing for the CBDC. Because under one blockchain, we as a people must act in accordance to whatever the government lays out for us, okay? So it's a just much easier control method for them and what we can say, freedom of speech, freedom of rights, because we have to align ourselves with whatever agendas they're pushing. Or just like that, they can take away all our money. And under one government banking system, it's much easier to do that. So with all this madness of what's to come and the banks collapsing, the financial systems of this country slowly deteriorating, who do you trust? What do you do? Well, based on my research, the financial experts I've followed with a history of making gains even in bear markets where the market's down and people are losing money, this is what the conclusion I've come to is. And I want to share it with you guys. This is how I'm preparing. You guys need to understand risk assets are going lower, so consider buying treasury bills from Treasury Direct. I'll show you guys how to do this at the end of this video. If you guys are interested, you can follow along, and I really highly recommend you getting in, taking your money out of these small banks before they collapse, especially if they're not insured. You guys have to look at how much money is insured through your bank, and each bank is different. But if it's not insured, that bank can collapse and you can lose your money and never get it back. So I need you guys to be paying attention to this, especially if you have a lot of money to lose, which you probably do because you're a man on your purpose and you watch this kind of content. And you need to buy for the next 2 years some treasury bills before everything collapses, giving it a 2-year time frame. Like I said, it's not going to all happen at once. All the collapses aren't going to happen just like that. I believe it's going to be a slow trickle ripple effect where we start seeing all these banks slowly closing down, the small ones, and then these big banks saving the day, the government saving the day and pushing everyone's losses into their system, their banking system, which is the 6 big banks, in order to push out, once I talked about again, the CBDC. That is the wave of the future. That's the system that they want everyone under moving forward, which is why we're moving towards electric everything. That's for another video in itself. There's a lot of things that I can't talk about in this video, but if you like content like this, you want to see more content like this, please drop a like if you learned anything new. Please support this channel. YouTube's not going to push this video out because I'm exposing a lot of truths the government doesn't want you to know, and the higher ups, the powers that be don't want you to know. So if you can, it's free. Just drop a like, engage in the video in any way possible, and let me know what you're doing in order to prepare best for this situation moving forward. Before you click off this video, I'm going to leave a video explaining how to buy from Treasury Direct Treasury bills.
For starters, a U.S. Treasury bill, otherwise known as a T-bill, is a short-term government-issued debt obligation. This means that you are lending money to the U.S. government in return for a relatively high interest rate and tax benefits. T-bills have maturity dates of 1 year or less, and you can buy 4, 8, 13, 26, and 52-week Treasury bills. And these dates correspond to 1, 2, 3, 6, and 12-month durations. T-bills are often held until they mature, so they're very similar to short-term CDs, but often with better rates and tax treatments. Now, these T-bills are widely considered very safe cash investments because they're fully backed by the US Treasury. So, like FDIC insurance, the only risk is that the US defaults on its debt, which, knock on wood, isn't likely to happen anytime soon. Additionally, for higher net worth individuals, T-bills can actually be better than FDIC insurance because you can deposit even millions of dollars into these short-term cash investments while still being federally backed and earning good tax-advantaged interest rates. Additionally, the longer the maturity date, like purchasing 6 or 12-month durations, generally the higher the interest rate that the T-bill will pay you. And again, keep in mind that the interest you earn is exempt from state and local taxes. So currently, as of the making of this video, locking up your money in a 4-week treasury bill currently pays you about 2% interest. If you buy a 13-week T-bill or 3 months, you can already earn close to 2.5%. And if you purchase a 26-week T-bill or locking your money up for 6 months, you can earn a whopping 3%. Pretty incredible and much better than what many savings accounts currently offer. Additionally, the FOMC is meeting at the end of this month, and the interest rates on T-bills are likely to increase several basis points higher. So it's currently a very good option right now. So now that we've discussed the advantages of T-bills, where can we buy them? For most people like you and I, we buy T-bills directly from the US Treasury on their Treasury Direct website. If you hover to the green tab called Individuals, you can click on Treasury Securities and Programs to learn more about T-bills. And if you click on Rates and Recent Auctions, you can find the most up-to-date interest rate calculations on these Treasury bills. Keep in mind too that T-bills are issued at a discount from the face value of the T-bill. So for example, a $100 Treasury bill might cost you $98 to purchase up front. When the T-bill matures, then you'll be paid that $100 face value. And that $2 difference, 100 minus 98, that difference between the face value and the purchase price is your interest. So it works a bit different from savings accounts, where you just deposit money and collect interest, but assuming that you hold T-bills to maturity date, they're functionally the same but with better tax benefits. And to purchase a Treasury bill, you'll first have to open a Treasury Direct account. So on the Treasury Direct website, you can click on Open an Account. Simply follow the instructions. You'll need a tax ID number like a social security number or EIN, an email address to recover your account in the case that you need to, and a bank account with a routing number. And I personally recommend linking a checking or savings account that you plan to keep for the rest of your life, since adding, removing, and editing bank accounts later on can be a bit of a hassle. Anyways, you can click on Apply Now and open an individual account, and you'll provide more information to the US Treasury, and eventually you'll be granted access to purchasing treasuries and marketable securities. So now that we have a Treasury Direct account, you can purchase Treasury bills or Series I savings bonds for that matter. You'll go to the upper left-hand corner and click on Buy Direct. Select Bills under Marketable Securities and click on Submit. Here, you'll see all of the products that are provided by the US Treasury and their auction and issue dates. The auction date is when the US Treasury announces the interest rates, and the issue date is when your account is debited and you are issued a Treasury bill. Then you'll simply select what product you want, so whether it's a 4, 8, 13, 26, or 52-week T-bill, and what day you want to purchase the T-bill. You can then scroll down to add how much you want to purchase, say $1,000, and then you can pick on which account to debit. Additionally, you can also schedule for reinvesting your Treasury bill. So say for example that you might not need the $1,000 anytime soon. These T-bills can then be rescheduled for reinvestment for up to 2 years, meaning that when it matures, it will automatically be reinvested in another Treasury bill. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you can otherwise select no, and the face value will be paid to the account of your choosing on maturity date. And once you're done, you can click on submit, review the terms, and you're done. You're all set to earn 2, maybe even 3% interest on your money, potentially beating many savings accounts across the board with even better tax benefits.
Please consider following these steps. I don't want to put the fear into you guys about what's to come, but I want you guys to be prepared and equipped. We are men that look for solutions. We don't complain. We're looking to constantly grow and develop as individuals. That's what this channel is about. So I hope you guys take this information and learn from it. Love you all. Stay blessed.